Did you know that poverty, being poor, and even the struggle can be a mindset? According to the world standards, I have been poor to poverty most of my life. Is that really how my life has played out? Struggling to make ends meet, being miserable, being poor, not being able to afford anything. Let's get right down to it. Come on now. Let's explain this bracket of poverty together, raw and real. Hope you'll serene and simple life. Sitting here on my back patio. So thankful to be able to move from the front porch where it's screened in to the back patio and enjoy this fabulous background. The squirrels jump from tree to tree. Oh my gosh. I could watch that all day. Does that mean I'm getting old? Maybe. Yeah, I'm getting old. I'm 66. I've been working since I was 16. How about you guys? How long have you been working? Feels like forever, right? What's the math in that? I don't know. 66 since I was 16. I don't know. 50 years? Yeah, 50 years. And I just recently opened up my Social Security statements online as I was doing taxes. Did you ever do that? You take a peek at what you've earned through the years, how they come up with your numbers. I get over a little over $1,000 a month. I took it when I was 62. So, it shows how much you contributed and how they come up with your Social Security figures, earned, taxed for Social Security. I thought, hey, kind of coinciding with last week where I talked about being debt-free and people commenting about how can I afford all this. I thought I would share with you today my high, my lows, and what I've made over the years. I don't know, just to give you like a bigger picture, I guess. Working since I was 16, single mom since I was 32. This isn't about getting the violin out and feeling sorry for me. I love to work. I hope that I can continue to work for a long time. But yes, so I did some number crunching over the last 19 years, not early on. I mean, I started out my life, I was making $1.64 an hour working at a country club as a bus girl and a snack bar attendant. How about you? What was your first job? My mainstay through the years has been retail, food service, waitressing. Boy, I wish I had been waitressing when there was no tax on tips. Just saying. Always been an entrepreneur, creative memories, 23 years, say it, display it for 10 years, and all these little side hustles along the way. But over the course of the last 19 years, I've only had one income since 1990 when I got divorced. So this has been since age 47 from 2006. I look to the side for those of you who are new because I have notes. I couldn't remember this anyways. All right, there was 4 years over those 19 years that I made over 40,000. 4 years. And the top number there was almost $62,000. That's the highest amount of money I've ever made. And we're going somewhere with this, so stick with me. I'm not bragging, I'm not doing anything, I'm just saying. So when I added all those 4 years up that were over 40,000, that comes to $190,594. Come on now, some people make that in a year, right? Or 2 years. So the average for those 4 years was $47,648.50. Woohoo! And then I did 4 years where I was under $40,000, but more than 20,000. So from 20,000 to $40,000, I had 4 years. And basically they were in the high 30s. 1 year was only 29,000. And so that was $140,196, which an average of $35,049 over those 4 years. 35,000. Now, the real clincher here is I had 11 years of these 19 years, okay, where I made between $10,000 and $20,000 a year. The high was $13,000 and the low was $1,000. I don't know. I must have been a stay-at-home working mom doing craft shows or something. And so that average comes to, yeah, that was $71,210 over 10 years, 11 years. And so the average there was $6,473.64. There'll be a quiz at the end, okay? So take notes. A little over 6,000 a year. And my high, I already went over that. So this is adjusted annually. I'm sure most of us know this. But over the course of, over 19 years, my average, I made $402,000. And that is $21,157.89 over the course of 19 years. So 19 years living on under 21,000, basically, year to year. And the federal poverty level for 2025 is $15,650 or $1,304.17 per month. And for a couple, the poverty level is $21,150 or $1,762.50 a month. So crazy. The bottom line is if we throw all those numbers and stats out the window, like who cares what you make? Your numbers. Are you rich or are you poor? No numbers. I think you know my answer. I am beyond blessed rich. How do you say that, Linda? Well, we all know health, number one, can change on a dime. I've got my health. I've got 2 beautiful children that are thriving. We don't need to belabor what I have now with this tiny home and land and the investment that's here. Friends, I could never have lived my life without the friends that I have. I have never gone a day in my life hungry, never. I've always had clothing. I've always had new clothing. I could go on and on and on. Food for thought, guys. Food for thought. Please give this one a thumbs up and share, even if you don't agree with it. I have another YouTuber that I watch all the time. He's like, even if you don't agree with it, give it a thumbs up because it helps the algorithm for other people to hear this information. But I have never felt poor. Sure, there's been times when I wish I had a little bit more. I mean, I'm human, right? I wish I could have put my kids through college, that they would have no debt. Just provided more for them. When they needed an extra 20, that I could just hand them a 20 and not think anything of it. I don't know. We just always had plenty. And you can look at what you have in life, or you can look at what you don't have. And that can make all the difference. in how you live your life and how you feel about things. I did mention last week, debt consumed me for a big portion of my life. At times it was quite worrisome, especially towards the end. And if you want to go get my book on Amazon, Rut to Revival, I get into in-depth about my debt and what I did to abolish it. Not proud of that fact, but you'd have to read the book to get the full story, okay? Get a full story without judgment. And before I hit the road, I was living in one room. I wasn't just living in one room because that's what I wanted, but that's all I really could afford with the amount of debt I had accumulated. So things were getting a little bit worrisome. And, you know, I already did a video on what hitting the road did for me. I went and got happy, but I did hit the road debt-free, and I have been debt-free ever since. It was a revival, and I praise and thank God every single day. The new beginnings. So this video is not going to be as long as some of mine. Next week, I am going to get into the nitty-gritty of not what I've made per year, but how I'm currently managing. I live off of Social Security. I live off of some small YouTube income. I live off of my Say It, Display It business, and I'm doing craft shows now. And I live off of heading back to work and working. I'm a worker bee. I love being a worker bee. I hope I can be a worker bee for a long time to come. But you know what, guys? There's a bottom line here. God has always provided, and his blessings continue to abound. So I just have one question for you. There's no in between. Are you rich or are you poor? I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of this video, and again, that you will share it and give it a thumbs up. Next week, raw and real, with my budget, my expenses, how I'm managing. Go back and watch some of these Sit and Share Saturdays. They're pretty cool. I'm getting raw and real. I love you guys. Blessings in your day. Joy in all your monetary things. Joy in all your things that have nothing to do with money. And joy in your journey.